get out of this when we say it's world-class? When we combine solar and we combine the 100 years, these houses reduces 45,000 tons of CO2. Why? Because our technology uses 85% less cement. It doesn't use cement. Cement is the most pollutant in properties when you start constructing. What happened to our communities? I think this is very interesting, Mayor, because these data are in our company. So when we make 1,000 houses community, this is what happened to the people living in that community. First, the home buyer starts saving 31% of their electricity. Second, what happened to most of the women that are living there, they start creating home businesses. So 20% of our women creates their businesses, and most of them make 16,000 a month minimum. So they start making food, catering, and other kind of services. And they start using all appliances that a usual middle income usually use. As much as an air conditioner. I've never seen my low-cost communities using aircon, but now it's so common with all our houses. They're now using air condition during summer. And the rest, the savings, they use this for the insurance, for their medical, for educational benefits. And even we have evidence that many of the students that are in this community study longer. Because usually in low-cost housing community, the parents stop the children from studying. They say, hey, electricity is expensive, please sleep now. Now we have 2 students from our community that got honor award because they're able to study well. They're using computers from their savings. This is what's going to happen now. Soon, the Energy Regulatory Commission is going to come up with a new rule. And I was part of those that really lobbied on it, really worked on it. Then there's going to be a net metering amendment, which is going to affect also IloIlo. Do you have brownouts here, Mayor? Do you have? Okay. Because if you have brownouts, you still, my community offers lithium batteries, right? But if you don't have a lot of brownouts, the new rule is going to give a lot of savings to your buyers, to homeowners. What happens is that for low income, from houses that developers are going to make from 1.7 million to 450,000 and below, they are going to pay no fees at all when they connect. Developers are going to be given one connection, unlike before. If you're 1,000, then each buyer will have to connect 1,000. They're mandated to process the net metering in 20 days. And the payment, this is going to come out soon. Before, the payment was 50 pesos. So you pay Meralco 10 pesos, then they pay you 5 pesos. 10 pesos, you pay them, and then they pay you 5 pesos. Now for low income, they're gonna do it 1:1. So if you sell to Meralco 10 pesos, they also pay you 10 pesos. So this graph, this one says that, sorry. If it's a socialized housing, which is needed by the city, if you do a net metering versus none, the green one is the savings of your socialized housing owner. If it's economics is 1.7 million and below. If there's a net metering, the savings is the yellow one, which is 671. And guess what? The higher you go, the middle income, the higher income, your houses is going to will have more savings. It could go up to 1,500 to 2,000. So this is already approved by the commissioners, and it's a labor of love for like 1.5 years from me and our team. It's going to come out soon. It's going to help the country because we're really pushing and very passionate about making the country really solar all over. This is the first condominium subdivision that we did in Cavite. So this is the first solar-powered condominium. So they don't get their electricity now from Meralco. Many of our buyers just pay 11 pesos, 200 pesos, 300 pesos. So we're building about 37 buildings of these. And the next 2 buildings, we're going to be putting it up with the new technology in 40 days, 1 building, 40 days. So everything now is on speed. If you don't change, you're going to die. So the disruption is there. You have to disrupt yourself. This is our technology, Conovate. It's from Denmark. It's 100 years lifespan. This is a factory already in Silang, Cavite.
Developed in Denmark. Produces high-performance cement panels with 100 years
They
material
use it
lifespan.
for high-end in Denmark. We brought it here for mass housing, middle housing, high-end, even luxury resorts. So for resorts, we can bring it here. This is how it's built. So in day 6, day 7, day 8, you finish the house, the installation of the house. We're going to show you one that's really the actual already. It's 14,000 PSI. For those engineers who understand, the usual hollow blocks is 500 PSI to 2,500 PSI. This one is 14,000 PSI.
Standard, better houses, stronger houses, more healthy houses. That will be a vision that we'll pursue.
So it's mold resistant for the resorts. It's salt resistant. You know, it does not deteriorate the buildings that you're going to be building. So Kathy and I have a project, a big project in Zambales. This is the way they build it in. This is the way they build it in Denmark, and the people behind this are 2 top companies in Denmark, the Ambercon and Architima, which is a 600 architect team in Scandinavia. So they studied the technology for 8 years and put up a $10 million fund to make the powder. It's a powder. It's like Coca-Cola powder. You cannot copy it. So they have the patent, and you won't really know the ingredients of that. And this is what they do in Denmark. They use it for high end, and they use it to attack climate change. It's really for climate change. This is the test in fire. So the testing, they put it in the oven for 1,900 degrees Fahrenheit. The panels stayed there. 90% of the properties stayed, which means in layman's language is that if everything is burning, you can still have 2 hours inside and get your stuff. And when you get out, the panel is still there. I mean, konti lang yung nasira. So this is really good for fire. You know, it's protected from fire. This is the latest, which is we're going to be doing this in Davao and with the Florendos. We're putting up a factory there soon, maybe next month. The equipments are coming. The Florendos is not, the Lagdameos, the Demosalan is not hard to convince. They're very green. They're very sustainable. So when they saw me present during one of the CEO, and I thank Richard and Rebecca for that, I presented immediately. The Mosaland head approached me. It was 8 months talking. Now we're setting up, but they want something different. They want something that has insulation, and this is what Denmark did for them. This is an insulated panel which we make in the factory. it stops the heat from going inside the home. So the MOSA will be doing that, and we're going to be doing that in one of our projects too in Legazpi City. It's a insulated wall. Next is next. This is the sample of the house that is finished, which I showed you. It's 100 years material lifespan, and it's earthquake resistant. And this is Ronaldo Ison. He is the head of all the structural engineer in the country. He's the president. He is our consultant. When he got into the team, he confirmed that this is the most advanced technology that really is strong for typhoon, earthquake, and fire. For those of you who'd like to, who are into development of resorts and subdivisions and other stuffs, I can just show you a sample of computation for one small house. This house cost 1.7 million. When we computed with KPMG, the value of this house after 30 years, we sell it, the value becomes 7 million because it does not deteriorate. While the other one, which is worth CHB, what remains there is just the land. So the rest are rotten na. Wala na. You cannot use it. This is actual. I showed you a while ago a simulated. This is if you're a builder, you can see there's no scaffoldings. It's so clean. There's no danger for your workers. Less workers, maybe because of the boom in IloIlo. You're having problem with your laborers. Maybe a lot of developers are having that kind of problem. So with this, you can now make we deliver, install, and then you finish the finishing, and you don't have any wastage. There's not a lot of, stealing of materials. There's a lot of those problems when you're a developer. This is our actual factory in Silang. The capacity of this is 3 houses a day. It's so unbelievable to hear something like that, right? But it's really happening that you can make 1 house a day, 3 houses a day, depending on the size of your factory.